We live in a world these days where we've converted a lot of rights to crimes. I just did a video on building permits. I talked about how it's extortion. You don't pay for it, but there's some instances where they're providing a service. They come out with a utility or the new construction. You should have a permit if your house is so close to another house. Because that way you want to make sure there's proper run provisions taken so that you don't flood the neighbor's house. You don't infringe on their freedom. But other than those, basically what's happening is you're paying them to protect you from them. Because if you don't pay the building permit, they come out, put a stop work order on you. You don't stop. They call the cops. Cops come out, give you a ticket. You don't sign the ticket. Cop says I'm arresting you. You'd say you're not arresting me. He pulls out his gun. Okay, forced compliance. You're paying them to protect you from them. Okay. Also, you gotta look at driving. The right to travel. There is immense precedence on this in several courts. I put together a brief I built off what other people have done that have actually had it succeed in a few states. But these states, by the way, where people have succeeded, everybody else that hasn't won still has a license they pay for. But either way, the point is the right to travel is a right. It's a right that the Supreme Court has ruled on as something that we have naturally. And it's our choice how we travel. Back in the day, it was by foot or by horse, by buggy, whatever. Now it's by vehicle. They have converted that right to a crime. If you don't pay for a license, you are now guilty of a crime. What's the definition of a crime? When you do harm to somebody else, either bodily or property-wise, right? What harm are you doing? Driving your car. None. This becomes a deep conversation. People say, well, what about insurance law? People not screwing each other over and stuff like that. Da, da, da. Okay, well, here's the deal. You make it like this. You can't make people buy insurance. You can't force somebody to buy something to use their property. However, when somebody uses their property and violates somebody else's rights and doesn't have insurance and violates their rights or violates their property rights and hurts their property, damages them in an accident, guess what now? We have to make it serious. Like, take the car. The car is yours. If they don't have the money to pay for your accident and they didn't have insurance, guess what? That car is their person's now. We just need smart courts, not stupid courts that convict people of victimless crimes and that don't do justice when something wrong is done to another person. If the car doesn't cover the cost, you take their house. You basically take until they've paid for the damage they've done. If they hurt somebody, you put them in jail. You violated their rights to live their life by being a jackass. Now, in this one, you have some discretion of the cops. It's obviously an accident; it's not bad. But basically, also we have to deal with trial lawyers too. People are going around, oh, my neck and my back, and they are extorting the system for money and basically making the insurance companies pay too much money, and then it corrupts the whole system. The trial lawyers are the bane of all man, existence of all man. But the point is, we need common sense, and we need to get back to the fact that people have the right to do what they please as long as they don't infringe somebody else's freedom. Doing this and making people take more responsibility by harsher punishments, but more freedom, is the way to fly. Look at your car too. They've taken your car, this thing that you own, and they put a duty or a tariff on you using it. It's like having to pay registration for my blender so I can make smoothies. Why should I have to do that? I own the car, I bought it and paid for it, and I can't use it unless I pay you money? Really? No. You should pay only when we change title. Sell it to somebody else, there's a change of title. All there is. Nothing else. We save roads. What about the roads? They belong to everybody. Yeah, they belong to everybody. We all pay our taxes, and the roads are built, right? So how do they have the right to tell me I can't drive on that, or any of us, since we all paid for it? They don't have that right. They think they do, and they act like they do, but they don't. Now, continuing forth, how do we deal with paying for the roads then? We don't have all these license fees and all this stuff and all the registration fees. We should take the tax out of gas too. Well, let's make toll roads. In fact, let's make it. You know where you're going to drive, and you have a toll. You have a pass, and you have to use the roads you want, right? I think that if we took all the money out of gas and taxes that we pay for roads, take all that stuff out of the DMV, and we're paying all that money. I think that actually we could for cheaper for all of us, cheaper for each one of us, then we could pay for like passes that take that take us to the roads we want to go on, right? I mean, if you didn't only pay for the roads that you wanted to use, I mean, wouldn't that make more sense? Why am I paying for roads in Northern California when there's plenty of streets down here that aren't taken care of? And that money is allocated strictly to that, and the money when you pay for the toll, for the permit to drive on that road, because it's like, I mean, privatize it, do that. That'd be an awesome thing. It gets out of debt, sell all the roads to private companies. They maintain them. That'd be great. I mean, they'd probably maintain them better. They'd use things like the double deckers on the freeways in LA, I'm sure, because then they'd have two levels. They could have a long travel upper level and a lower travel lower level. And there's only you got to come up and down to the upper level every 5 miles. And every 5 miles, they have a sign that says "Come down now for these upcoming exits." And you get down, and a mile later, those exits start. If you're going 20 miles, you go up there for like 15 miles, and you go then or 10, however the exits work. But then the people coming on and off real quick are taking out the people who are commuting. I mean, private companies would do stuff like that because they wanted to get more people on the roads and have them happy. So, because otherwise they'd find other roads that other people own that were better maintained, better flowing because they're maintained better, more thought out, better planned. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. It makes tons of sense. I mean, whenever you have give somebody the incentive of profit and you get government regulation out of the way, that person will always provide the best service they can because they want more business. Correct? Correct. So we have to consider all these things and say, what though? I mean, we don't need all this. There's better ways to do this. We don't need to convert rights to crimes. I mean, you have the right to do what you want with your body, but somehow they have drug laws. I mean, you spend billions of dollars every year on a false war that is really just that is preposterously fucking unjust. I mean, I've been a victim of it myself. I'm a different person now. But the thing is, though, I shouldn't have gotten punished for what I did. I wasn't violent, didn't hurt anybody. It's not something that makes sense. And my family will tell you that too. I'm not a bad dude. I made mistakes in my past, according to your laws, our laws, but I was never a bad dude. Always been honest. So, that being said, we've made all these things crimes that aren't really crimes. Things where there's no victim, there's no damage in somebody else's property or person. And when we do that, we clog up the system, we cloud what's really a right and what's a crime, and we spit in our Declaration of Independence and our Constitution. I mean, we have to really think of what we've converted as far as rights to crimes. How the government has slowly infringed and creeped on our abilities to do what we want. I'm a contractor. If I don't pay the state money or don't apply for a license, I can't make a living. Well, it's supposed to keep people from being dishonest and hurting people. Well, why do I need them and not the court system to handle that? When somebody screws you over, you go to court over it. You take them to court, and the courts would be able to handle it if we got rid of these victimless crimes, and we just had them focus on things that they should focus on, like property and personal rights violations. That's what they need to deal with. That's it. There's all this other crap. You clog the system. The government doesn't want that to happen because then you defund the beast. Remember, George Washington said the role of government is to grow and perpetuate itself. George Washington also said government is not reason, is not logic, is not reason, is not eloquence, it is force. They force these things on us, and we've let them. All these things, all from building permits, driving a car and license, even drug laws, they impose fines and stuff like that to licensing for professions. What does it all do? It all funds the government. Somehow or another, it all ties back to them getting money. Pay for itself, its own vast blob, to pay for the all-encompassing size it has grown to. I think we should all stop paying our driver's license. Everybody should stop at once. It'd be great if we could do that. Because you know what? They would have to listen. They can't lock everybody up. We should stop paying for these freaking licensing boards and stuff that are huge and overreaching to come and shut down your business because somebody complains once when it's a bullshit complaint, which happens quite frequently in California with the CSLB and my Contra State Licensing Board. They're as bad as the IRS. They have the power to destroy it. No power to tax, power to destroy. They got that kind of power there. It's really scary. I mean, like, they can ruin you because somebody that you tried to treat fairly, tried to get them to sign change order, didn't sign change order, but you're stuck already with having to be obligated to finish the job to the original contract with them. When things don't work out in the end, they didn't sign the change order, they complain. When you try to get them to do it, but you're kind of stuck because you're on the third contract, you don't finish the job, you don't want to really start a ruckus over it, you're not going to get your final payment, and you have people you got to pay payroll too. It's like the whole point is they can shut you down for stupid shit. They take the side of the client first, and they never see both sides, and they friggin' multiple. They close you and investigate later. They do it, and we've let this happen. Don't feed the beast. When you give the government money for things it doesn't deserve it for, and it shouldn't be getting money for, all you do is it's like a slave buying a master a bigger whip. What's slave buying his master a bigger whip? That's what we do when we give it money for things it doesn't deserve. We give it the ability to enslave us further without our consent. Paying it money it doesn't deserve is the ability to govern without your consent. Giving it money is like, I don't want to call it consent, but I would say it's giving it the ability to govern, the ability to pay the police and all the people who will inexorably force you to comply with those laws, those rules that you don't agree with. That's what it does. It's like you don't have to consent for them to govern you anymore because you pay them the money, which allows them to employ the people who will perpetrate that force against you. Right? Consider this. Paying money is a de facto consent, you could say. And it's not consent, so you don't agree with it necessarily, but it's saying, I'm going to give you the ability to enforce your bullshit laws on me by giving you money still to use to enforce them, which is what we do. Then a real quick thing, to solve the border problem. Drug law is a big thing. There's all these other things when we do this and we did it right and we do it right, has other great implications. The drug war, gone. With victimless crimes being made not crimes. I mean, we reform our immigration system so people that are good people can come over here. We start deporting everybody we can find that's not a citizen, but make it so that good people can still come here. Make it easier because the system's broken. And we get rid of the drug war. Our border is going to be a much easier thing to police. As long as you have incentive for people to freaking violate the border, the drug law, it will happen. Those immigrants come either way because they're getting paid or they're coming here, they're getting their trip for free if they carry these drugs across the border, right? It's like so obvious, it seems painful to me to think about how people don't get it. The border problem is a problem that we have a large hand in creating through our broken immigration system and drug law. We need to do things right, we need to do it smart and not stupid. Thanks for listening, guys. Chuck Burns for the USA. Twitter, I no longer consent if you don't consent to your government. Hashtag on Twitter. Follow me and the hashtag my call sign on Twitter is at cburns, CBURNS, the number 4 BTA. BTA. cburns 4 number 4 BTA. At cburns4 BTA on Twitter. Follow me. Hashtag I no longer consent. Say why you don't consent anymore. Hashtag it again. Do another tweet. Say what you're going to do about not consenting. How are you going to show them you don't consent? How are you going to defund them? What are you not going to pay anymore? I don't pay my license. I don't pay registration. I get away with it. You have to do the research. If anybody got questions, leave a comment. I'll send you the link to my brief. For a legal brief, you can take it from the judge here in California. And it works. You just say how you're going to defund them. Say I'm not paying for my license anymore. Have them come take away your right to work and make a living. You'll win that in court. I haven't had them come to me yet. I've said stop paying it. And then, you know what? I honestly, you shouldn't pay them income tax. Why? Because I don't. I'll say it. I don't. Because you know what? I don't consent, and I'm not going to give them de facto consent by giving them money. Don't consent by default. If enough of us do this, they can't pay for all these entitlements, the entitlement state. They can't pay for all their bullshit. And until you defund them, they're going to walk all over us. They got the police to do it. They have all these people they pay, their pawns, to go out and do their work, and they pay them with your money. You pay for your master's whip. Take it off your own back. Come on, guys. Have a good day. And thanks for following me. If you like my channel, please subscribe. Please follow me on Twitter. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. You know, we're trying to keep the truth alive here. Do the damn best job we can.